Hi guys, welcome back for another one. I'm here on Twitch doing a kind of a special thing today, something that I've been wanting to do ever since they gave us tabs, and that's fixing up my war teams. Currently, my roster is set to like all my blitz teams, so when I'm doing war, I tend to spend a lot of time scrolling and trying to figure out what I have left to attack with, and it gets very confusing, sometimes frustrating. So I'm going to show you guys how to use msf.gg to help like create and manage your teams here, and then you just have to go and plug them into Marvel Strike Force. So the first thing I want to do is go here on this tab when you're, you set up an account and everything, have your roster uploaded. You want to go to my teams, and you can currently right now I have everything set. This is currently my blitz teams, and if you guys want to use msf.gg, you kind of almost have to put in the numbers manually yourself. They're still working on the API that automatically transmits your roster in in Marvel Strike Force over to msf.gg. Or there are other tools available out there. One of the most common tools used that is, to be frank with you guys, is not really on the sides of the terms of service with Scopely in this game, but it's just an overlay. It's called the Mantis tool that helps export the data to msf.gg. Scopely has not gone after any players for using the Mantis tool to date, but just know that it's not kosher with the terms of service of this game if you want to look that up. I will have a link to that Discord where you guys can find that tool if you're interested, but you must have BlueStacks and own a PC to be able to use it. Anyways, with that said, let's go start here. So this is my blitz team's standard screen. What I want to do is I want to create a folder. So folder, and we're going to call this one war teams. This is going to help me track like what my war teams are. And so in the future, when I need to mix things up, I can easily go to the screen and then use this and then go to Marvel Strike Force and just update my saved squads. So there's nothing here yet. So what we want to do is we want to add a team. So there's quite a different ways to go. So first off, we also have war defense, we have war offense. If you're trying to set up your war, you ideally, if you're a new player, this is going to change through time. So if you're a new player, do it this way. You want war attack teams, right? Because the number one thing you want is war credits, and you can't get war credits if you throw everything on defense and you can't attack. Well, if you win or lose, you'll get some war credits. But if you want some additional ones that eventually pile up, you definitely want to focus on war attack teams. I always say get 8 war attack teams, then focus on 8 defense, and then when you get your 8 defense done and you have your 8 attack teams, then look for additional ones, especially if you're someone who likes to spend war energy credits, the war attack credits, to do additional attacks, right? Then you want additional teams, but that's all you really need. So in a playthrough, right, I really just need 12 attack teams, 8 defense teams, and I'm going to see through this process, can I make more than 12 attack teams? So I don't know, like not all my rosters developed. I'm not a day one player, but I have been playing for over 1,000 days at this point. The order you put people in here is not going to matter, but when you go to Marvel Strike Force, you're going to want to make sure that you put them in the correct order. There are a lot of tools out there. There's a lot of Discords that have like correct positioning on these teams. So definitely reference them when you put a team together. Once again, I'll try to put a link down in the description for another Discord server that does a great job at making that information easy access for you. So first off, we're going to start with my war defense. So we're going to say war defense. I'm going to name these. I'm going to name them by one instead of by the team. So the first 4 war defense, right? I know who I'm not going to use for offense, right? And that's Heroes for Hire, right? It's the best war defense currently. So we're going to set that up as team number 1. These are in alphabetical order. So this is actually the CP of my roster currently, and some of it is still blocked out. I'm gonna that way things are more centered. You guys don't really need to see that one side anymore. All right, and so we're going for Heroes Prior. So Luke Cage. So that says war defense on. So we're gonna save them, and what this automatically does, it automatically removes the characters from my pool. So I know they're no longer an option for me to build a team with. Let's save that and move on. So then we're gonna add another team. Next team that I know I definitely want is going to be a Doc Ock team. So war defense. I know I told you guys to do war offense first, but I know I'm going to have enough war offensive defensive teams that I'm kind of removing a lot of the defensive characters, so they're not crowding up my screen and confusing me here. It's all said and done. So war defense, save team. So this is definitely going to be a Doc Ock team. You easy edit team, but just press and edit. So let's find Doc Ock. And then the best one is Rhino. Now, Rhino can be part of a new offensive team that I'm seeing in Platinum 2. But right now, I don't think I need the Rhino. I can run a different comp against them. So I'm going to put Rhino on this team. But ultimately, I think Rhino is probably one of the ones that it's kind of transitioning to offense based on what we're seeing on defense currently. But again, this is use what you guys are seeing in your war, right? There's plenty of tools out there to help you with counters. I know the war information has been really slow out there in other Discord servers. I know I've been struggling to find answers for myself. So I know a lot of, people leaving this game currently, some of the information is not readily available as it used to be. So we're going to save this team. That's going to be my war team too. All right, so I'm up to 2. So what else do I need to do? Well, another team that's pretty much a lock on defense, right? Emma Marauders, right? I run Emma Marauders, so we're going to add another team. So let's save that team. That's War Defense 3. All right, so far, these are pretty much 3 set standard defensive teams that I use every day that I probably would still recommend a lot of people use. Obviously, this team could be biting the dust sometime soon. We'll have to wait and see. There are some other standard teams that you can use that I may not be using, like As Guardians is one you see popular of, Red Skull and Hydra Minions another popular one, and these are some base war defense teams that are in the game. But anyway, so we're going to switch over and we're going to start creating some of the offensive teams that I use on a consistent basis that I know I want to keep them on offense. So let's go ahead and add a team, and let's add our first offensive team. So War Offense 1. All right, and we want to add, so the first team is going to be Infinity Watch, right? We're definitely going to keep our Infinity Watch on offense to deal with these hero for hire. All right, so yeah, we're definitely going to keep them on offense, so there we go. The next, we're going to go to another offensive team. Offense 2. And we're going to go, this one's going to be Blackwater. It's another team I use on offense all the time, so it's going to make them. Save team. All right, so that's another one. And then there's another team that I think of right away every time I think of war offense is 3. At least for me, they stand out as war offense to me for sure. And that is my beloved Astonishing X-Men. Absolutely love them. They take care of a lot of Dooms. Anytime I see a Doom Marauders or whatever, I'm all over it with my Astonishing X-Men. All right, let's start with a Jubilee because obviously Jubilee's the best. Where is Jubilee? There you are. All right, let's get the rest of them. Beast, Bishop. Just for easy look, just for me to easily look here, I'm gonna put my war offense first. All right, so let's go ahead and make another team. We're gonna call this War Offense 4, and we're gonna see if there's anything obvious for me. Now, based on what you guys have your invested into, right? Some teams may be more obvious for you than they are for me. You guys might have an Uncanny X-Men team you want to put together. I just don't have that available for me. You may want to put what's another team that's common that I don't have? May have an X Factor really built up, which X Factor still might be a team for me, but I'm saying you guys might have more invested in me where they're more prevalent. So the next for me is definitely going to be Shadowlands. So we're going to put Shadowlands next. All right, so we're up to 4. Let's add the next team. We're going to keep focusing on War Offense right now. All right, so next is War Offensive 5. So one of the teams that I talked about earlier that I'm starting to see a lot of is Brotherhood 2.0 and Doom on defense, right? It tends to be very devastating. The menu just blinds you in the beginning, and then it stalls you enough times for Doom to ult, which then is usually the kill order on your team. So one of the teams I found that countered this team very well, and so I want to make sure it's a War Offense team, so if I see it, I can use it, is X Factor with my version with Squirrel Girl. The only thing that gets screwed over is that Shatterstar goes before Squirrel Girl, so he tends to miss his very first attack, but after that, you're like back on track. So, and it's been it's been successful every time I've used it. Still varying on what power level it keeps working at, but that's currently what's been going on. All right, so next up, I'm starting to get a little fuzzy on what I have left to use. So we're gonna hit an add team here, and we're just gonna leave it. We're just gonna name it War until I figure out exactly who I'm gonna use. So I have some key teams left. Actually, I already know who this is. Actually, we're gonna name this offense already because I already know who it's gonna be. So one thing you do is like we start running out with start looking at characters to the left, and like, oh, is there a team there? And obviously I just saw a team, which made me think of it, which is weird that I didn't think of it earlier because it's the team with the highest collection power on my roster, and that's Symbiotes. All right, so there's Symbiotes. Down here to 6. All right, so same thing, add team. I don't quite know what I'm going to do quite yet, but I'm going to name it War, and I'm going to look at see what I have left if there's an obvious team that I'm missing. Now, there are some teams that are obvious teams. So I have X-Force. That's an obvious team, but they're not that strong. I also have Supernatural, another team that I have, but not very strong. And typically in my war levels now, their power level just doesn't get the job done. Like, you don't really see 200 collection, 300 collection defenses anymore. It's usually 400 and plus. Once every now and again you'll see something below 400, but it's usually 400 and plus at my level. So like I said, you have to tailor this to your alliance wars and what you see. So another team that I use that I can't really use anywhere else, so they're gonna have to stay on offense, is Power Armor with Ultron. I don't have, you can see right here with my Iron Man, he's not powered up at all, so I can't use him. So we're gonna go with Ultron and the rest of the Power Armor. There we go. So that's another war offense. And I am going, what are we up to? 7. I think that's 7. So what I'm going to do at this point, guys, I'm going to reference some of the stuff that I have set up currently in game and see what I want to build. But that's kind of like the general direction you want to go. I'm going to skip here and come back once I've have a good thing to like show you guys. All right, so we're back in. We have 8 war offense teams. We have our 7th war defense team. We're going to add our 8th. Now, this 8th one, I'm just going to show you guys this one because it's one of my weird thrown together concoctions, and it's basically meant to give me at least one defensive win, right? You can find a solution for most war teams, so you always like try to put one together that can really stop people. So one of the combinations, I can't say I came up with my own, my roster review buddy Maverick did help me come up with this in one of our times of talking. So I can't make an Uncanny and X-Men team because I only have Colossus and Phoenix built up to, so I'm going to throw Phoenix and Colossus on this team. And basically, even in that alone, sometimes you just try to get opponents to make an attack just to help you make them waste an entire attack just to flip Phoenix into dark so they can clear from there. But we're going to give them more problems than this. So we're going to put Ghost on here because I don't have the rest of the Pimtech built up. I only have Ghost. Same thing with the Fantastic Four. I only have Invisible Woman built up and not the rest of them. And then to make games fun, we're going to put Doom on this one. So this is my team that is basically just meant to like slow the opponent down or make them waste something huge. And with Heroes for Hire, they can't really use Infinity Watch on this team anymore. So it's one of my defensive teams just because it's a bunch of oddball characters that are just meant there to like really slow down the opponent. So let's save team. And that's that. So now I have to figure out what's left with my team to keep building some more war offense teams at this point. So let's hit add team. Let's go ahead and, all right. So basically we're looking at what we have left. So there are some oddball things. So one of the things that, and I'm looking at the characters that I really have developed into. So one of the set of characters I have developed into is Secret Avengers. So let's go ahead and grab them. So then I have this, and I do have a big Kestrel. So I'm going to throw Kestrel on this thing because I don't think the team that I'm currently running her on is going to work anymore versus what I'm seeing. So we're going to throw Kestrel on this team. And I think I'm just going to save it for now. I don't know who else to put on this team as the 5th. I'm going to leave that spot blank. I can go and edit later and add someone to it. I don't think it really matters it might matter who the 5th is, but right now I'm going to save it as that. All right, so let's see who else we have left. We do have a solo death pool here with not really a team. Actually, one of the teams I definitely forgot to do at this point, I'm actually going to do it right now, is Inhumans. I was using Black Bolt as part of a Heroes for Hire counter, but with Shang-Chi pretty much being on every team that I see now, it's almost not going to work anymore. So let me put him back on Inhumans. He can take care of some other teams that I might come up against at some point. Let me find the rest of the Inhumans. All right, so we really technically only need to really have 2 more teams. We'll see if we can make more than 2 more out of my roster. But at 12 is the max attacks you can do in any kind of war. So we definitely want those. So let me add a team here. And we still have some great characters left. We still have we're actually going to do a Zemo next. Zemo is one of those where I could run him solo. But mainly I use Zemo for is when I've come across any Hydra or Red Skull teams. Zemo just by himself takes care of that team. He doesn't really need to be surrounded by powerful teammates. So you typically, when I go against these Red Skull Hydras, I typically just have a Zemo and then I put them around. Let me see if I can find the other characters I usually put them around. So guys, I'm going to end this video here just because I have a lot of other knickknacks and things I got to figure out, and its recording's already been pretty long that I have to edit down. So guys, If you guys like this kind of video and want to see more like it, please let me know in those comments down below, as MSF.GG is a pretty good tool to help like figure things out. And if you want me to do a more deep dive in this kind of stuff, or even bring someone like Maverick on to showcase of how to maybe optimize, you guys have to let me know. Comments down below. But anyways, you guys enjoy this, do me a huge favor, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here and haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. And if you do not want to miss any videos on my channel, don't forget that notification bell. And with all that said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.